Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at a Mixamo alternative for creating, animating, and rigging your characters. Let's dive into today's video. We're going to be using the Sorceress Game Creation Suite. We are going to be using AI image generation to come up with our 3D model. That being said, 3D Studio does allow you to upload your own model or to import a model from something like DAZ 3D. Currently, Genesis 8 and 8.1 figures are supported, but in this video, we are going to be using the AI workflow, starting with a concept image for a werewolf and a werewolf female. So I've already generated the characters, but all you need to do is upload your characters, images, your screenshots of your characters that you're happy with, and choose the image generation models, video generation, 3D generation models that you want to create your character with. I have been favoring Trippo and Meshi 6 myself. And in this case, I actually generated one of each just to see which ones did a better job. Now, when you upload your characters, you can upload multiple characters at the same time and batch create them. You can create multiple versions of each one to improve and refine the result, because sometimes the result comes out a little bit differently. But here we have our before and after. This was the image I used for this female werewolf, and this is how the model came out. Let's take a closer look. So this is the Trippo 3.1 version here. I actually think she came out really cool. And then we have the Meshi 6 version here. In this case, I don't think the Meshi one came out as good, but sometimes Meshi does a better job on like humans. It almost seems like Trippo does a better job at monsters, and it almost seems like Meshi does a better job at humans. So this is the Meshi 6 werewolf. He actually looks pretty awesome. That's actually nice detail too. That texturing came out pretty good. And then here we have the Trippo 3.1 werewolf. For this video, we are going to rig up everything because it's fast and easy to do so. So I'm going to send these all to the rigging section next. The Trippo models always come out facing the wrong direction, so we're just going to rotate them once down here to face the camera. And now for rigging our characters, we have two methods: the rig semi-automatic feature and the auto rig feature. The auto rig costs a few credits. Semi-automatic is just about as fast, but the auto rig is useful if you're using the 3D Model Studio through the API. This lets your AI coding agent auto rig your character without you needing to have any visual input. So that's the main reason that auto rig is there. Also convenience in case you guys want to use that. Here's how we do the rigging process. I'm going to start clicking rig character here. And then if you look on the left, it's going to ask me for the markers to place: top of head, chin, neck base, pelvis, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, left knee, and then basically the ankle point. Once we're happy with that, we click on Build Skeleton. Now, this is an interesting character because it's a werewolf, so we're going to actually check and make sure that skeleton came out all right. Usually it rigs humanoids. This is humanoid, but it's also a werewolf, so we might need to slightly tweak a few things. I'm going to widen those hips out a little bit, and I'm going to adjust that hand down a bit. And by the way, everything is mirrored, so if you work on the left bone, it mirrors it to the right, so you don't need to do both sides. And I'm going to slightly adjust those toes, and since this is like a werewolf head, humanoid head, the actual head kind of got a little confused there, so let's actually just kind of put that into place, and I think that's going to be pretty good. Go ahead and click on Compute Weights. And while that's going on, let's go ahead and try the auto rig character on this guy. For the female werewolf, I'm going to actually enable the breastbone jiggly physics option just for fun. Once the weight painting is done, you can switch over to the weight preview mode and see how the weights came out by clicking on the individual bone. Okay, we've sent all of our characters over into Animate Studio, and I've loaded up the same animation for each one. This particular animation actually has its head pointed down quite a bit. But that's actually okay, because I wanted to show you how to fix that sort of thing in Animate Studio, because when you're generating animations with AI, and let's actually do one of those right now, it can take a few tries to get exactly what you want. So I'm going to do a lumbering werewolf walk, because this one's kind of like a human-like walk. I'm going to choose Komodo Soma and High Motion both together, and I'm going to generate up a few animations. And basically all I need to do is type in the type of animation that I'm trying to create. In this case, a lumbering werewolf walk. This could be a skeletal zombie walk. This could be a sexy female stroll. This could be a, brutish masculine walk. You can do all sorts of different things, and it actually does a pretty good job. But let's pretend that this was the animation that we wanted to use. What you can see here is we got something that kind of has the head lumbering over a little bit too much. I'm going to select the first frame here, and I'm going to just make a quick little fix to that. I'm going to grab the neck bone right here, and I'm going to apply a bend to that until I get that head to sort of be in the starting position that I want. I think that actually looks pretty good right there. The other thing you'll notice is that this animation is not a perfectly repeating loop. Let's fix that. I'm going to start by selecting the first frame of the walk animation and dropping down a ghost. This mirrors what the starting frame looks like. I'm going to then scrub through the animation just by dragging along the timeline until I get what looks like a complete step. So one complete step. Left foot, right foot, and probably right back to there. Let's drag in the out position and let's see how that plays back. Okay, we've almost got a smooth loop here. Gonna adjust the out position a little bit. And then I'm going to enable this other feature that's built in called smoothing. I think we need a little bit more out. And there we have a pretty nice smooth loop. I actually ended up adjusting the in frame a little bit and starting from a different position and then the out frame. And then what we also did is we added that smoothing, and I've added 10 frames of smoothing there, which actually seems to have created a pretty good walking loop. I'm going to rename this one to Wolf Smooth. So this one I think actually came out pretty good for a werewolf in a sort of stalking style of walk. A couple little issues to fix. Let's grab that arm and move it out because it's kind of overlapping his face. Let's adjust the neck and rotate that up because it's kind of too much hunched over. But with those little changes, we've actually got a pretty good werewolf stalk. This particular animation also generated slightly in the wrong direction. So using the little repositioning tool here, we're going to actually just face him forward. And now we've kind of got him coming towards the center. And so we have a pretty good werewolf stalking animation. Now, a werewolf is not quite the target character for the humanoid animation system, but I think it actually pulled it off okay. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head on over into drive mode. And what you can do here is actually add up animations for your characters: idle, walk, run, backwards walk, strafe left, strafe right, and that sort of thing. I'm going to load one of my pre-made profiles here. This is a regular humanoid profile. So we've got our walking, our side strafing, we've got our backwards walk, our diagonal walks, we've got our, well, in this case, a power walk. And we can also toggle on such things as torso aim. So your torso will look up and down where you aim. And when you're happy with your animation blend, you can go ahead and export that entire package of animations just by selecting the drive profile that you want to export. That will include every animation as well as the 3.js package if you're vibe coding your project. This will import everything, or export everything rather, including instructions for your coding agent on how to set up your character in the exact same way that you have your drive profile set up. And of course, you can also import these into Unreal Engine or Unity or your favorite coding engine. So here we've got kind of a nice sort of idle position where the werewolf is sort of stalking around. And you can really generate up all sorts of different types of animation. Here we've got a bit of a punching attack, and here we've got a bit of a kicking attack. Of course, these are really more suited to humanoids than werewolves, but you can generate up sort of werewolf style attacks as well. This one here is more of a claw style attack. So it's really great be able to generate up animations as are suitable for the kind of character you're working on, as a Mixamo alternative where you're given a set of preset animations and you just have to do the best you can with them. With AI text animation, you can really get specific. And of course, once you've come up with your animations that you like, you can keep reusing them over all your characters and build out your own portfolio of animation. It's also very handy for adding little additive animations, like you need a strafing animation. This one actually was created for a undead type character, so it's kind of got that undead swagger. And this one was also created for sort of a zombie, like a zombie walk. Anyway, gentlemen and ladies, this is the Sorceress Game Creation Suite, and you can actually even try it for free. You get a few sign-up credits as bonus when you register an account, enough to create at least one model and a few animations. Hope to see you all in the next video.